Hey friends, this is Tim coming at you from the Rubber Duck Recruiter. Hello. It's been a while since my last post. I don't know what to do with my hands sometimes. I was sleeping late last night, or right as I was falling asleep late last night, I thought to myself, man, I should do a sourcing session for any sourcers out there that would want to, see somebody who's been doing it a while, kind of hear the voice inside my head while I look at profiles. I thought that was something that I would have loved to have when I was just starting out as a sourcer. So that's what we're doing today. We're doing a sourcing session. And hopefully you get some value out of this. We're going to focus on software engineers today. We're just going to type in random names, no bias. We're going to put in senior engineer in LinkedIn people tab, and then we're going to go through some profiles. So let's cue the intro. Okay, yeah, F yeah. Should I say profanity? No, I shouldn't. Okay. Senior software engineers. That's what we really want, right, guys? Come on. All right, here we go. So, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, let's say that for the end. Let's just do software engineers in general, because then we can see some kind of profiles that are just kind of finding themselves, I guess you could say, or up-and-coming engineers. Okay, so we'll go to... Did I already mess this up? Do I even know how to use LinkedIn? I think that... I don't even know if this is my actual job. Is my name Tim? Okay, cool. So we'll scroll down here so we don't really know any of these people. Let's just start at the top. So we have a candidate here. His name is Liang Zhang. I'm going to sneeze. So Expedia, he's coming from Expedia. So the first thing that comes to my mind as a recruiter is Expedia is a large-scale company. So as an engineer that works at a large-scale company, these engineers are solving different types of problems. A lot of times when you see an engineer that has been at a smaller company or even a medium-sized company, they don't really get exposed to the issues that occur or the problems that occur around extremely dense usage of a software. So right there, kudos to this guy. If he's working at Expedia, that means that he has probably some conversational or at least has been exposed to these larger scale problems. So let's go down and look at his profile here. Java, great versatile backend language. JavaScript, so that means he's a full stack developer, and using Python, that's kind of a deeper systems programming language, although it can be a classic backend language. It also has Django associated with it, so but oftentimes you see it at lower level programming. Extensive experience as a full stack web developer. So he's a web developer. That's interesting. So when you see web development, this is talking about web applications or usage of APIs or web services. So this guy is probably actually really strong in the middle tier as well. So there's the back end, there's the middle tier, there's the front end. Front end would be his JavaScript skills, unless he's using like Node.js or something. And obviously back end is going to be his Java and Python. Okay, so how long has he been there? 2 years, 3 months. So this is a mid-level engineer. And he is likely just gotten out of his entry-level position and gotten promoted to a mid-level engineer. This is not somebody that I would target for a senior level role, even though he does have the large-scale experience. I would think that this person is doing a lot of coding. He'd probably pass a lot of technical screens, but this person has not been leading designs. He's listening to senior engineers who do lead designs, and he's taking notes because eventually, hopefully, he'll want to get promoted. And when engineers get promoted, at least in these bigger scale companies, generally speaking, the responsibility that they take on is leading designs and less so coding. Okay, let's go down. Master's degree in computer science. That's awesome. And looks like he went through a boot camp in 2017. So he went through a boot camp while he was getting a master's degree. I know why he did that, or at least I think I know why he did that. In a computer science degree, engineers are getting exposed to essentially computer science fundamentals. They're learning how to use data structures. They're learning big O notation and algorithm analysis and so on and so forth. But at a boot camp, you're getting exposed to modern frameworks. So you don't really get that in a classic computer science education. So as an engineer, it sounds like he wanted to be a little bit more well-rounded. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and we'll just say that he wants to be as skilled as possible. So this is a good engineer, great profile. I would say in probably 2 years, we're looking at senior level roles for this guy. Okay, let's go back to senior engineers and looking people here. All right, so Zhao Cheng. He is a senior software engineer at Microsoft. That's great. Another big, large-scale company. Their bar for talent is pretty high, although not as high as a lot of other tech companies. Project management, release process control. So this is kind of the later end of the SDLC when you're releasing a software. Maintain, describing, highly availability, performance, high scalability. This is a back-end engineer. He's dealing with scalability issues. He's dealing with distributed systems, microservices development. He's thinking about problems at scale. That's a good way of thinking about it. Great. I mean, I love it so far. And let's see his growth. So he's in Beijing. It's really hard to know if you can compare and contrast levels of competence across countries. So this guy was in China as an SDE2. I don't know much about the Chinese engineering teams in Microsoft. I'm not that great of a sourcer yet. But he's working on Bing, and he's working on API system stuff back then when he was an SDE2, and then he's been a senior software engineer for the last 5 years. Sometimes they don't update their profile. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is a principal now. And he's working on Office 365 Substrate Intelligence. That might be some AI stuff. Focus on structured data, meeting locations, email suggestions. Okay, so it's probably not AI. This is probably just kind of developing or improving on an already created software called Office 365 Substrate Intelligence. I could be wrong there, but the bottom line is this guy he's a baller. He's kicking butt. Good for you, buddy. All right, let's see what else we got. Abhishek. Okay, so this is a senior engineer at Visa, and seems like a nice guy based on his profile picture. Skilled in Java, C#, and test automation. C# is a Microsoft language, by the way. And if he's at Visa, that means that he's likely dealing with payment integration or entitlements or just something to do with software engineering around, probably payment systems in general. So this guy would be great if you were recruiting for somebody, a company that wants somebody with financial payment systems integrations like a PayPal or a whatever. It's a niche thing. It's not so niche. It still comes from a core skill set of being a software developer, but nonetheless, yeah. Authorization. So authorization payment platform. That's where he's at Visa. This guy's profile is pretty good. 4 years, 10 months. He's probably just become a senior software engineer. He climbed up the ranks it looks like 5 years and 5 months that he's been at Visa. And I would say that this is a new senior engineer. This is somebody who's starting to potentially lead a small team, who's starting to have an authoritative say on where the designs of software being built within the company are going, of architecting those things. And looks like he was in India for 2 years as a software developer, so that's roughly 7 years of experience. Although, again, you can never really tell, whether that was legit or not. It's just hard to make that assessment. Master of Computer Science 3.3. Hey, that was my GPA in college. Cool. And he's in the Rotary Club. I like this guy. I would totally recruit this guy. Okay, let's do two more. Lyft, that guy's going to be bald. Let's try to find somebody who's a little bit less traditional software developer. And people, come on. There we go. Okay, cool. So this looks good. So in the company I work at, Facebook, this would be a diversity candidate, which is always great to get more women in tech. Let's see what her resume looks like. So right off the jump, when I see somebody with a lot to say in their about section, it's usually not a great sign when it comes to years of experience. I don't know what her profile looks like, so we're obviously going to look down, but my sense is that this person is probably relatively new in their career. But I could be wrong, so let's check. Okay, 11 months there. Okay, so she's been an engineer for 11 months. She went to Flatiron, so this is a boot camp, like a coding boot camp. There's a lot of good engineers that come out of there, especially more and more now. It's having a degree in computer science isn't that important. Although, for the majority of the companies, with the exception of Tesla, you are going to be assessed in a technical screen, which is going to, come straight out of a lot of the stuff that you would learn in a computer science degree. Okay, so this is not somebody that I would reach out to now, just because she's still getting her career off the ground. And let's see here. She has a doctorate in biochemistry and molecular biology. This is a smart human being. Okay, so let's go back and do one more. This is great. This is a no-name company. I have no idea what this is. So let's see. This is how I think about this. Okay, Amin, United States. That's interesting. Looks like, so he's specializing in front-end development. So front-end development is, that's specifically the look and feel of applications. Usually web applications, although it can, be phones or whatever, internal tools. But more or less, it's like, this person is dealing with a lot of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and probably frameworks like Angular or React or something like that. So let's see what he's doing. He's been an engineer total for 2 years, so this is still a junior engineer. He's doing React-based components. So this is cool. He's working with some advanced React functionality, which is really great. I would say that this isn't someone I reach out to now, but this is somebody that in probably 3 years, maybe 4 years, is going to be a solid senior engineer if he sticks with it. I want to do one more, just because we're on a roll right now. Engineer. In people. I want to see if we can find an Amazon person. Okay, here we go, Barone. Okay, so this is a senior software engineer at Amazon. Really, really difficult to become that. This guy probably has given up a lot of his time to hopefully something he really enjoys. He's been there for 7 years. This tells me a couple different things, which, by the way, vesting happens like in a stacked way. So the best time to recruit these engineers is like the 3rd or 4th year that they've been there, because that's when they're getting the most money of most of their stock. So it's like once they hit that big vesting, they might want to be like, all right, I'm ready to bail. I don't need to wait for the next one. This guy's been here for 7 years, which tells me 2 things. He might be on an L1 visa, which means that until he gets an H1B with a visa with an I-140 approval, then he's likely not going to be able to change companies because, an L1 visa is essentially golden handcuffs. It means you can work in the United States you can work at this company in the United States, but you can't switch to other companies. So it's kind of it's cool, but it's not cool. It's frustrating for a lot of my friends that have that. The other thing is that he might just, love his job. He might be a senior engineer there, and he's been killing it. He was there for 5 years, from 2013. So he started off as a software development engineer. He grew to an SDE2, and now he's a senior. He might have like a whole family or a whole team that he runs there. So he might just really love Amazon. And whenever you see engineers that do stuff like this, making computers do stuff, kind of cocky, kind of fun, playful, arrogant, but like in a not arrogant, that's not the right word, but just kind of like, confident. That's always a good sign. It's usually when you see like this was my path, and, here's where I was in 2019, and I just know that coding, I'm just looking for I don't know. You don't want to put your life story there. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's a red flag, but it's just not real appropriate for a job-based platform. It's really about your experience and where you've been and what you've done. Okay. I guess that's it. Hopefully that was helpful. If you guys found this valuable, please comment and let me know. If you think other sourcers or recruiters would benefit from this type of stuff, then like the video, comment, and that helps the video get out. I'm not at any state where I'm making money off this stuff. I'm just kind of sharing it because it's fun. Cool. This was fun. I'll see you guys next time. If you want me to do a different skill set, or if you want me to do a part 2, or if you want me to do different jobs on the SDLC, then let me know. Because I'm not, I have ideas, but I'd love to hear your ideas too. All right. Until next time, may the recruiting odds be ever in your favor.